Well, hello everybody. This is Scooter, Granville Guitars. Crouch down a little bit. I've had a lot of requests for a video or at least a clip, an audio clip of some sort of this 61 Bassman amplifier that I have for sale. It's quite the gnarly beast. It's pretty much stock. There's a I did modify the bass channel to be 6G6-B. It was originally the straight 6G6, and it's a really strange configuration. It doesn't sound pleasant at all. So I yanked that whole channel and brought it up to the 6G6-B. It does have the tube rectifier from the 6G6, unlike the 6G6-B. So it's kind of different. It's been Tolexed a long time ago. It was re-Tolexed in this black. And my original intention was to have it redone over at Mojo. Kind of changed my mind. Decided to leave it as it is. It could very easily be made to look nicely stock again. Mojo would be the place to go as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, I have my 82 Schecter Strat style guitar here, maple neck, EMG pickups, Wilkinson bridge. It's a Koa body with a maple neck. That's what we'll be using to test out some Strat style tones. That's the volume on 6. Treble at 6, bass at about 2, and presence at about 5.5. Let's go through the controls one at a time, and I'll show that they do work throughout their whole range. I'm actually running into a single 12 cab. One thing about this amplifier, it does require an 8 ohm output. It would have originally come with a 212 cabinet for an 8 ohm output. Right now I'm running it into a sealed back single 12 cab with an Electro Voice SRO in it to be able to handle all of the low end this thing will and can put out. Typically in a guitar situation you wouldn't want to turn your bass controls up very far because it's going to muddy things up in a hurry. But it is there and it does work. Here's your presence. As it is on most amps of this era, the presence control is kind of subtle until you crank it up or get some grind going and you really notice the difference. As with a lot of amplifiers from this era, it's it leans more to the tweed side of things than it does. I'll just grab this chair, how about that, and I'll sit down instead of standing up. Better? Maybe. Who knows? It probably leans more to the tweed than it does the blackface. It's got qualities of both. When you're playing lightly, it's going to be kind of chimey. Much like a blackface. It's still kind of thick though. It's always going to have a little hair on it that a blackface typically doesn't have, particularly in the low mid areas until you really crank it. So in that way it might be a little more versatile. Particularly this era, like I said, it would have had the white Tolex being a 61. Anyways, that's your clean channel with Strat. Now we go over here to the bass channel. The way the bass channel is voiced, I'm sure they didn't intend for it to be a dirty channel, but it's definitely dirtier. When you push it with the configuration of that 6B6 or 6G6-B, when you push it, it distorts in a very kind of tweed Marshall-esque sort of fashion. Again, let's demonstrate that the controls are volume, treble. Treble really works. little differently to my ear. But, again, for guitar use, leave it kind of low. When you crank this thing up and really lay into it, it's gonna really. Compresses just a little bit more than the solid state version of this amp would, but not a lot. I actually did quite a bit of extensive listening tests when I was dialing this thing in with the tube rectifier and the solid state rectifier, and it's really, the difference is really kind of subtle. It's not as dramatic a difference as it can be with other amps. So yeah, is there a difference? Yeah, a small one, but anyways, very bright, very crunchy channel when it's pushed. This particular amp seems to like 7 on the volume controls. Seems to be the sweet spot where you can start working your volume controls on your guitar. Very touch sensitive, very responsive, rewards hard playing, but also rewards kind of lightening up your touch a little bit. So it's a lot of fun to play in both respects. Real quick here, I'm going to plug in my SG. It's a fairly recent faded, not too old. I can never remember when pressed. It's an 06. So it's about 10 years old or so, and it has pickups that I wound for it. A little hotter than normal PAF, but not a whole bunch. Kind of a big fan of the basic PAF sounds. Both pickups. Neck pickup. Now that is the bridge pickup on here. Notice that with the humbucking pickups, pushing the front end just a little more. And by the way, on the EMG equipped guitar, I had the volume rolled off to about 7.5, just to kind of match the same output as a vintage pickups. As you could tell, it was a little bit chimier and a little bit less. When you put a humbucker through it, it's going to push that front end a little bit. Even the cleaner channel, the normal channel on this, which is typically the cleaner channel, you can still get some dirt out of it with a humbucker. You move over to the bass channel with a humbucker, and this is when the Marshall thing kind of starts to reveal itself. So there you have it. Just a real quick audio test demo. Just kind of wanted to show what it sounds like. I've been getting some requests, quite a few requests, as a matter of fact, just to get an audio picture of what it sounds like. So there it is. It is for sale up on Reverb. If you got any further questions or want to know more about the amp, feel free to contact me. You can find Granville Guitars on the web at www.granvilleguitars.com, or you can seek us out on Facebook as well. That's all I have for today. Happy New Year.